Are you ready?
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Hey everyone, thank you all for tuning into Biz My Kids, the quarantine edition. My name is Nikki Watson, and I just want to let you know that our future is so bright. Why? You're about to see young scholars pour their heart out, want to know what does it take to be successful. They'll be interviewing today's business leaders to learn how to be tomorrow's business leaders. They will break down those communication barriers between different generations. Check them out.
Today we're going to be interviewing Kenneth Walker, one half of the internet sensation Dearra and Kim. You're going to be interviewed today by Brooke Smith and Masai Walker. Take it away, Brooke.
I want to thank you for your time. Also congratulate you on your soon-to-be marriage, and you guys are in a house, so that's super cool. The two-story closet.
Exactly.
So my first question is, like you said, kind of spoke on earlier, you guys are a couples channel. And so how do you guys manage to still have privacy being a couples channel?
Well, I guess that's like the beauty of YouTube or just social media in general. You pretty much have control as to what you decide to put out there and what you decide to retain in terms of privacy. So we do a pretty good job, and we always on the same page in terms of what we're going to put out there, what we're going to say, what we're going to do, and what we're going to keep private behind closed doors in terms of what we want to say, what we want to do. So I guess it's just the beauty of social media. We just make sure we're on the same page in terms of what we decide to share.
Yeah, that's something I really like about you guys' YouTube, because like it's like most couples channel, there's like a controversy, and you really never see that with you guys. But still, there's always mistakes, and anything can happen. So, so you guys have a huge following on YouTube and a lot of subscribers. So have you guys ever had to deal with like stalkers or anything, or followers taking things too far?
Yeah, of course. Nothing ever too severe or too crazy, but we have had people leave like notes on our cars or leave notes with our concierge and stuff like that. And it's never to the point where it becomes troubling, but it is like a boundary crossing, you know? So we've never had to deal with anything crazy, luckily. So to answer your question, no, but in a sense also yes.
Is it that like scary for you, like when you were first starting social media or things like that? Were you scared, like there's always a possibility of this happening?
You definitely always want your space, and when you're entering into I guess like a famous type of space, you start to understand that people don't necessarily understand what your space may be. And as a regular person, Dearra and I, we definitely like to just be individuals. We like to just walk outside. We like to just be ourselves. But it's hard to do that, especially when people come up on you sometimes. They may physically tap you on the shoulder, or they just kind of may cross a boundary that you're not necessarily comfortable with, but you have to try to understand where they're coming from, that they just may be super excited, or they just may feel like they're at an opportunity that they may never get again. So it's like a 50-50 type thing. It's like you have to give and take.
With that being said, about people not really like knowing things from just the videos, what's something that you guys want all of your subscribers to know or really gain from watching your videos?
Excellent question. I haven't never thought about it, but I guess when we want people to watch our videos, I guess the main thing we want to take away from them is positivity. Because it's something we're like big on, because the good thing with social media, there's a lot of negative things out there. There's a lot of negative things that happen in relationships, and that's normal. You know, people argue or whatever, but we definitely want people to watch us and know that there are positive things that you can take away and that you are in control with the positivity that you decide to share. So that's a big one.
I've heard you kind of like touch on this a little bit in a past video, and that's about well, we just finished the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. You might have read it, about having multiple streams of income and really investing in things. So how do you guys like find multiple streams of income, and can you explain why it's key to have multiple streams of income?
Excellent question. I guess to answer your first part, the way we find them is through, I guess, research, reading books like you guys do, and definitely just finding what you're comfortable with. So, for example, a lane of income that we want to get into is real estate, but not everyone may want to deal with real estate. So it's just definitely finding what you're comfortable with and going into your own research and finding ways that you can diversify your income. And what was your second part of your question?
Flip my mind too.
Why is it key to have multiple streams of income?
There it is. The number one key as to why it is important to have multiple streams of income is so that, one, you definitely want your money working for you in multiple different ways, because the way the world is set up, nothing's promised, nothing's forever. So you definitely want to make sure you're always okay for your sake and your family's sake and your legacy's sake. So that's number one, why it's so important. Number two, you definitely never want to stop learning, because to learn more and to diversify your income go hand in hand. So you definitely want to continue learning how to diversify your income. So like I said, real estate may not be for everyone, but you may read a book, or you may watch a webinar, or you may listen to someone speak, and you may all of a sudden decide you want to jump into it. There's an element of learning that comes with that, you know, whether it's with stocks or with, you know, if you want to own some type of business, whether it's some type of app, or whether it's a cupcake shop like Dearra. So there's always ways to just continue learning, because as time goes on, you may jump out and be like, hey, you know what? I love creating graphic art, right? I may want to create some type of graphic art design business on the side, you know? You may want to learn how to create a website. So knowledge is the key to diversifying your income, because without that knowledge, it makes it that much harder and your losses become greater, you know? So I guess that would, to answer your question.
With YouTube, you always hear people talk about like hate comments and stuff, and like haters. So was there ever a time where like haters got to you guys?
Absolutely. When we first started out, the hate comments definitely bothered us, because it was different coming from a time where, you know, your friends or a few family members may comment under a post here and there, to a time where a person that you never met, don't know, may comment a nasty comment or a hateful comment. So it definitely got under our skins, because some people would try to comment on your insecurities that you know you have and that you're comfortable with, but it's different when it comes from a person that you don't know, never met, and they point them out, and then it becomes a little bit harder to accept. So the one thing we had to learn was to both ignore and to love ourselves to the fullest, you know, because people can try to say hateful things, and at the end of the day, we start to realize that people only say these hateful things in order to get under your skin. So if you don't let them get under your skin, those hate comments become that much less effective.
I don't know if you do, but I would want to be 70 years old still like making vlogs and stuff, or like doing challenges. So is there ever a time where you guys think you're gonna throw in the towel or retire?
Absolutely. So we've always had this conversation just for the sake of, like you said, we don't want to be 70 still trying to do challenges and whatnot. So I think maybe 2 years back, we decided to have this conversation, and we kind of mapped out the direction we want to take in YouTube as we both got older. So obviously now we will continue to document like our house and all of those type of things. And eventually our channel will morph into a family channel. You know what I mean? Family channel, toy channel for the kids or whatever. And we will morph it into just family style content. And from there, we begin to pique interest in our kids. And if they want to do YouTube, fine, we can go in that direction. And if not, we'll take a step back. But hopefully by then we would have diversified our brand good enough and created other streams of income that when the time comes to where it'd be like, hey guys, this is the final vlog, that will just be that, and we won't have to continue to force it for the sake of living, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's another reason why you guys and most people should have other streams of income, because YouTube isn't forever.
Exactly.
And yeah, like once you quit YouTube, like the YouTube check will come in.
Exactly.
First off, I want to say that y'all have been some influences in my life, starting a YouTube channel and a role model. So let me get into the first question. I want to waste your time. My first question is, what are the ups and downs of being a YouTuber?
I guess the ups are always going to be you control your own content. You can do what you want to do. You're in creative control of everything that you decide to put out. And of course, you're your own boss. You get to make your own schedule, make your own rules. Those are all the ups. I guess some of the downs will kind of go hand in hand with that, because sometimes when you get caught up making your own rules, it becomes harder to adjust to them over time, because you may make a rule now where you're going to upload 4 or 5 times a week, and then you get later down the line and it becomes that much harder to keep coming up with different ideas. But then you kind of feel bad, because then it's like, oh man, I really want to shoot these videos. I really want to put up some videos, but you have like this creative block to where it's like, dang, I don't know what I want to do. And you feel like you're letting people down, when in reality, you're kind of not, because if you build a fan base that really loves you for who you are and what you decide to put out, they'll always stick with you. So that's one of the downs. And I know YouTube community, they kind of call it this plateau, where things could be going good for a year, 2 years, or even 3 years. And then you get to this point where everything becomes stagnant, where the YouTube subscribers are hitting this straight line, where you're not necessarily growing, you're not falling, but you're not growing. Your views have kind of fluctuated here and there. So those are some of the things that you kind of stumble across when you become a YouTuber.
And my following question is, what are some challenges you faced during the pandemic?
Not being able to go nowhere. So traveling was like a big thing that we did, that we loved the vlog. So having to shift focus, try to create other vlogs in spaces that we had decided that we were already going to travel, that has kind of hindered us a little bit. Other things have just been kind of trying to create content from the comfort of your home, because we definitely want to preach the safety guidelines that the CDC has in place. We don't want to be reckless. We don't want to film ourselves being reckless. So that's been a hard thing, not being able to just kind of do what we normally do and just kind of shifting focus into trying to promote positive content, but also safe content, considering everything that's going on.
My last and final question is, when you were a teenager, who was your role model?
I have to say it's 2 people, actually. It's between Kevin Hart and The Rock, and that's strictly because of both of their work ethics. These guys have came from just complete bottom to being, just at the top of their game in their respective professions, whether it's The Rock's being an actor or Kevin Hart being a comedian. And The Rock, starting from wrestling, took that as far as it went, became an actor, took that as far as he went, becoming one of the most highest paid actors, Kevin Hart being one of the most highest paid comedians. And these guys, even when they reached that point, they still haven't let up. They still continue to do exactly what they were doing when they were at their lowest point. So for me, those 2 guys were definitely at the top of my list when I was younger.
Thank you. And thank you for being on this call too. And I'll pass it to Amari.
My brother.
Well, meeting at such a strange location, were you guys always both creatives, or is that something that kind of mutually leaned upon each other from being together?
Yeah, we were definitely creatives in our own rights. So in high school, I actually took a video broadcasting class. So creating content was definitely always my thing. And Dearra always was in the social media thing and being creative in that social aspect. So when we took those 2 things together and we combined them, she brought an element and I brought an element, and we just kind of fused them. And then DK4L was grown.
Well, firstly, we interviewed YouTube sensation Kenneth Walker. It was a great interview. It was so many positive vibes. We talked about what he would want to do after YouTube, what him and Dearra's plans were for moving forward in life, and just how they plan on morphing their channel. And it was quite enjoyable seeing how their progression from articles that I did read about you guys in the days leading up to, and seeing how you guys plan on enacting on stuff. And that was amazing to hear. They were interviewed, Mr. Kenneth Walker, he was interviewed by Mazai and Brooke, and it was just a great interview. Thank you for your time.
Thank you guys. Absolutely.
My well wish is to the families of Aya, I think River or Rivera, and Nicole Thea. Nicole Thea is a YouTuber who just recently passed away, and she was 8 months pregnant. And Naya, I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, was a popular actor from the show Thea. I mean, not the show Thea, the show Glee, and she recently passed away as well.
Well, my well wishes go out to everyone who's starting back in school like me. Hopefully we're staying safe and socially distancing in the classroom so that no young children get sick, even if it's the 1% projected percentile expected to contract something.
Okay.
All right, so my well wishes go out to James Harden's family, as you know that he has the coronavirus, and Russell Westbrook, the point guard, so he can get better and safe.
Thank you for watching Business Minds Kids, where we train the kings and queens of the future.